Hi, this is Zach with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 23rd of June. Starting off with the FTSE 100, where it was worse to travel than arrive in terms of the Iranian bombing spree that happened over the weekend. Presumably everyone and their mother, apart from the Iranians, knew that it was coming, and therefore we had the market fall back from the 8,900 zone back to today's low 87.40. I think over the weekend we went down to sub 87, but nice hammer candle so far today. Want to see the market close above 8,800 to suggest that we are then back on track for a move up to the top of the channel as high as 90.30 by the end of next month. At that channel, the 1 year, or actually the May 2024 rising trend channel that we've been in for so long. On the downside, 8,700, hopefully the worst that we see, barring more geopolitical excitement. The situation in terms of the RSI on the right side of 50 at 52, so that is a help in terms of providing positive momentum, as is the way that the 50-day line is rising very sharply indeed. Moving along to the DAX, and here the situation basically continuing what we had last week, which is bouncing off the rising 50-day line. That's around 23,100. Above that, we're looking for a break of the old March resistance, 23,500, to take us up to the top of the channel. 24,800, hopefully as soon as the end of next month, although I suppose at this stage it's difficult to work out exactly what might do that, given the lay of the geopolitical land. Moving on to the Dow, and obviously this is frozen in time from Friday. The situation here is that we are at the floor of that rising trend channel from May last year. We've got the potential of having to test the 50-day line rising there at 41,400, although obviously with the better start for the markets this morning, or at least the firm start for the markets this morning, hopefully we won't have to go much below 42,000 and can then try and break recent post-March resistance at 43,000 in coming days. Moving on to Bitcoin, where I suppose the big question is why this market is not at record highs, given that we have all those companies. Apparently everyone and their mother is buying, or will be buying, loads of crypto, especially Bitcoin. Moving on to situation at gold, and here with the world falling apart, one would expect the gold position to push through the rather difficult and sticky 3,400 level. At the moment, obviously we're looking at an old chart there, an old price, but at the moment we've got gold around the 3360 level, so not really helped by the intuitively helped by the over the weekend activities. What you can see here, though, is that there is a broken line of resistance there around 3350. We've also got the floor of the channel there around the same number. We do break down at 3314 is the 50-day moving average. Still looking for that elusive move through 3400 to give us 3800 by the end of next month. The positive at the moment is the way that the RSI is at 54 and above the neutral 50 level, so glass half full rather than half empty currently. Moving along to the stocks, and it's obviously rather dull if they're not Bitcoin strategy stocks, but current position on Aferian is that we've gapped up above rising 50 and 200-day lines, already had a golden cross last week, and so looking for our initial target there, 5.3 pence, to be hit easily and quickly over coming days, maybe by the end of this month. By the end of next month, looking for up to 7.25 pence, which is the upper parallel of that broadening triangle there from back in November. On to Arkle, where I see the management has conducted an interview, obviously not with me, but even despite that, they've managed to get the shares up to up to 0.5 pence. We've been looking for 0.63, and looking for that by the end of next month. It looks as though the shares may be strong enough to get there by the end of this month. Old resistance, 2024 resistance at 0.42 should come into support ahead of the move to 0.62, 0.63 by the end of next month. Not quite sure whether Blue Star should be in the BTS strategy brigade, but it's behaving as if it already is. We've got that V-shaped bull flag breakout hitting our second target there at 25 pence on the nose, which is always very gratifying. Above that, though, what is interesting here, and perhaps very interesting here, is the way that we've got no real charting resistance between 25 pence and the best levels of 2023 at 60 pence. So it'd be interesting to see whether this effectively cup and handle formation will deliver the goods. It looks very strong. So 50 to 60p looks as though it could be delivered by the end of next month, while we're above the recent resistance, broken June resistance at 23 pence. So the key here, getting end of day closes above 23 pence. If we do get up to 50, 60 pence by the end of next month, I will obviously be very pleased with my homework indeed. Moving on to CloudCoco, and here another stock which has hit the initial target there, 0.33. Now we're looking for up to 0.48 by the end of next month. Obviously, we've pulled back from the initial spike that we had today, so the levels there, 0.33 and then 0.48. Ideally, we stay above recent broken resistance at 0.23, otherwise the whole thing will have been a little bit of an anticlimax. RSI looks good, though. Extended bounce off RSI 50, and the sideways shuffle ahead of today's move above a rising 50-day line is normally the setup for the strongest breaks to the upside. In fact, I'd say we're actually looking for 0.6 plus if we can get back above 0.33. Moving along to the situation at defense, and here the stock was one of the hottest around until the BTS situation started, but looks as though we're trying to regroup back above our third target there at 0.46. Above that, looking for a retest of the fourth target there, 0.72, by the end of next month. Moving on to ECR Minerals, where a bit like Mendel Helium, one would expect the company to do the right thing and go for a bit of BTS strategy in there. Here we got the shares breaking recent resistance at 0.24. Above that, we're looking for 0.36, and but the RNS is being drafted as I speak. RSI 50 rebound as well, and the bull flag either side of the 50-day line, so it looks like something good is going to happen there very soon indeed. On to Empire Metals, which sticks to its knitting, or so far has stuck to its knitting in terms of titanium oxide. Here you can see that we pushed through one of our various targets, the third or fourth target there, 23 pence. Above that, looking for 34 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay obviously above 23 pence in the meantime. On to an old favourite, which is Fragrant Prosperity. Here we bounced off this consolidation triangle, as I would call it, 0.83 the floor of the triangle, but we already noticed that the shares are closed above a steeply rising 50-day line. Above that at 1.05, looking for the top of that falling trend channel there, 1.8 pence by the end of next month. On to Invinity, which had a decent RNS today, and in fact so decent that it's actually broken the target that we were looking for at 22 pence. Above that, we are forced to look for a new target, and we will find it in the form of the upper parallel of that triangle up to 32 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of recent resistance at 19 pence, whatever happens. Moving along to the situation at Seed, which has famously been trading under its NAV, but looks like it might decide that it's time to get with reality and actually trade properly. The current situation is that we've hit our second target there at 2.4 pence, a third target there at 3.2 pence by the end of next month, or even sooner. After that, the prize is a full-blown rebound back to 4 pence plus, which was the old 2023 resistance. On to a company with a rather silly name, but it looks as though shares are ready to move after the recent IPO from memory. Here you can see that Sundae bar in a rising trend channel, top of the channel there at, well, it looks as though it's heading towards the 16 pence level, looking for that by the end of next month or even sooner. Helped along, by the way, that both the 50 and 200-day lines are rising. We had a very strong candle for the stock on Thursday, opening at the low, closing at the high, so obviously somebody interested in accumulating in that situation. Moving on to Solvonis, and here, after a strong start, the shares have come back to sort of break even, but we're still in a rising trend channel base, top of the channel there, up to 0.28. We're looking for that by the end of next month, especially while we remain above the 50-day moving average at 0.15. Finishing off with Trafalgar, which has risen, I think, on no news, and that is interesting. I wonder what that could be, or what the news might be when it finally comes out. Very close to the top of that broadening triangle at 0.09. What's interesting here is that above that level, nothing really between there and 0.16. So let's see if the company's going to say anything. We're beginning with Bitcoin, Treasury, or strategy. Ideally, the upside is still valid while we're above 0.07 on that situation. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.